Hi everyone, Andrea here. If you're new, welcome. I'm a celebrity makeup artist based in Paris, and in today's video, I'm going to do a bridal makeup look. Every year, I love to do these looks for those of you who want to have a little bit of help for your big day. A lot of my tutorials are done on myself, but for today's tutorial, I have actually invited one of you to come to my studio and let me do your makeup. I just had this idea, and I'm very spontaneous in life in general. I just had this idea of doing a bridal look, and I was thinking, I'm not the perfect model for a bridal look. That train is long gone. Besides that, I've done many tutorials on myself. I was asking on stories if anyone is available to come in my studio the day after, and a lot of you emailed me, and I just wanted to thank you so much. So I keep in mind a lot of your contacts for future projects. But for today's look, I've chosen this beautiful girl that is about to have her wedding in about a month, and I thought, that's just perfect timing. In case you need extra help for your big day, I have created a masterclass, a bridal masterclass, where I've used 2 different models, and I showed you from the beginning till the end in real time how I do a look on a client. This masterclass is available not just for those of you who want to do your own makeup, but just for makeup enthusiasts in general, as well as for makeup artists. So let me introduce you to my beautiful model, Chinook. We've got beautiful Chinook with us, who responded kindly at my request when I asked you guys who is available tomorrow, which is today, to come to be my model. And the reason why I chose her, obviously, is because she's very beautiful, but also because she told me she's going to be a bride herself.
Yeah.
In just a month?
Yeah, a month and a half.
A month and a half.
Yeah.
So honestly, I couldn't find a more perfect model for my bridal look. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. Yeah, I love makeup, and this couldn't have come at a better time. Like, literally doing my own makeup for the wedding, so I cannot wait to see what you do and tell me, and tips and everything. Yeah,
I have to say, and I'm sure that you guys can agree, that she has beautiful skin. So obviously I have asked her what is she using, although it's mainly genetics. But she does get very good care of her skin. And I know that you guys will have this question. So Chinook,
yes,
what do you use for your skin?
So everything Biologique Recherche. So I use the Lèvre Peau morning and night, double cleanse. And then I use the lotion P50W for sensitive skin, because I do have some like hormonal acne. And then I use the serums, which depend on, I mean, you finish one and then you start another one, and you try to mix it up a little bit so your skin like almost stays challenged. So right now I use the oligoprotein marine, isoplacenta, and amniotic VG. And then after that, I use my cream, which right now I'm using the Crème Masque Vernix, and then afterwards SPF.
That's amazing.
That's a good routine.
Love the routine. Biologique Recherche for me is more like a true skincare brand.
Yeah, it's not like something to put under makeup.
Yes,
yeah, it's
exactly.
Not a prep. So I feel like when I put makeup on, I mostly tend to lean towards the Charlotte Tilbury, like the Magic Serum, the Magic Cream, because I feel like it's always a beautiful base for me.
So that's why, because you probably have Biologique Recherche right now on your skin.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to start with the tried and true Bioderma. This is the L'eau Micellar for sensitive skin, and I'm just gonna do a quick swipe to remove anything that she might have. Did you do a lamination for your eyebrows, or is it just a gel? Okay.
It's a lamination, and I just put on oil for now because that's like enough, and I don't really fill them in anymore. But yeah, so there's a lamination on it.
Okay. I'm going to use this Peptide and Omegas Firming Eye Cream from Allies of Skin. And I use a tiny little bit. And I'm going to make sure that the under eyes are hydrated, but not overly hydrated. We tend to put a lot thinking that we need that hydration in. And what happens is that your concealer is going to slip and slide, and you're going to blame it on the concealer. But a lot of times it's just the eye cream. And this is one of my favorite eye creams. This is a serum I truly love from Glow Recipe. Rhode Barrier Restore Cream. And I'm going to start with the perimeters of the face. And what is left, I will go for the center of the face. It's very elastic on the skin and it goes really well under makeup. And for the sunscreen, I'll use the one with SPF 50, the Invisible Sunscreen Gel from Allies of Skin. And I have to say, this has zero color. I think it's that type of sunscreen that you either love it or you hate it, because the texture, it's very particular. If you like the sensation of typical primers, the blurring pore primers, then I think you're going to love this. But if you don't, then maybe stay away from it. The reason why I use it is because this is truly invisible. It's not going to have any flashback, so it won't interfere with the way your makeup looks like in pictures. Because what happens with a lot of sunscreens, they will have flashback, especially if we're talking about physical, the mineral sunscreens. So for me, this one is more of a safe bet, and I also love the way it looks under makeup. Saie Glowy Super Gel. This is a very lightweight formula, a product that's going to give you that luminosity. It's a product that you could eventually apply it all over the face, but the way I like to use this is on the highest points of the face. Yes. Do you see that glow? It's just so beautiful. I also love to use it on the bridge of the nose. I'm gonna go with the Shiseido Revital Essence Skin Glow Foundation, and this is in the shade 240. I find that this foundation is just so beautiful and very light. So I do a quick thin layer all over, starting with the center of the face. Even if this foundation is not going to perfectly cover all the tiny imperfections she's got on the skin, no problem. I would suggest you to not go with a second layer of foundation, but rather work only where you have those imperfections with a small brush, using a little bit of concealer, and just cover those only. There's no point of applying another layer of foundation when you've got beautiful skin. I'm gonna go with 2 shades from Natasha Denona Hyglam Concealer, only because I just don't have the perfect shade for her, so I'll have to be a mix. And this BK Beauty brush. And this is very potent concealer. You need a little bit. It's better to apply this in layers. You will find that if you go with a thick layer from the first time, it just creases. But if you start slow and you add wherever you need, you're gonna find that this concealer is phenomenal. For the little imperfections she might have here and there, I prefer to use either the Lisa Eldridge Pinpoint Concealer Pan or a concealer in a stick form, such as this one from Clé de Peau. Anything that has a bit more of a drier and more waxy consistency, because that's what you need around a pimple, let's just say, you know, because it's not gonna slip and slide. This is in Light Rosé. And with a tiny brush, I'm gonna cover I'm gonna go with a little bit of contouring for her. And this is the Westman Atelier contour stick in the shade Biscuit. And I'm just gonna load the brush with the product. This is a brush from Chantecaille, and I really love it because of the shape. I think it's just perfect to sculpt wherever you need to. And a little bit at the base of the hairline, so. Then I take a little bit on the brush and get it on the sides of the nose. Not necessarily to contour, but I find it weird when you've used, you know, a contouring product or a bronzer all over the face except the nose. In order to make the look be very balanced and in harmony, I think you have to apply a little bit everywhere. I want to go with just a little bit of Hourglass concealer. This is in the shade Silk. And I'm going to apply it right here with a tiny little synthetic brush. This is from My Kitco. And that's just going to brighten even more of the area. With the first concealer, I kind of went just like with the foundation and kind of evened out the under eye area. But this is more like strategically placed to really brighten the under eyes. For the blush, I'm going to go with the Hourglass Make Me Blush, the liquid version first. And the reason why I do the liquid version first is because this is a super long-lasting blush. And especially for your big day, you want your blush to really last. And I've been mixing these two shades to kind of get something like this, right? Not too pink, but also not too warm. So I want to go with something that looks fresh on her. Synthetic brush, always. This is an old one. Makeup by Mario in collaboration with Sephora. And honestly, a really good brush would have been this one. I just... old habits. Listen. And I just get this high on the cheek. All right, now it's time to set the makeup under the eyes, and I've used just a little bit of powder. This is a Huda Beauty powder, and with a small brush, I just tap, tap, tap first. This is the first step. And then what I actually like to do is take a powder puff, load my powder puff with powder, press it so it's not like a bunch as you touch the skin. And then I just go over the forehead. Typically I start with the T-zone, the nose, the chin, and I kind of mattify mostly the T-zone, because no one looks cute when we're shining here, right? I'm gonna use this Hermes bronzer, and this is in the shade number 2. I think this is called Atlas, and it's one of the most gorgeous bronzers I have ever tried. And especially this color, I find that it's so beautiful for people with light skin. This is a brush from NARS, number 14. I'm just going to press it a little bit on the brow bone as well. And I always go with a bronzer under the chin because this part of the neck never really sees the sun, so it's always a lot lighter. For the eyebrows, I'm going to use Anastasia Brow Powder Duo, and I always use this color or the taupe. I rarely go for darker colors, to be fully honest with you. I'm always in between like these very, very light shades. Even if it's someone that has darker eyebrows, I find that starting with a very, very light dust of this powder is just doing the job. And then I figure out if I need any more filling, but this already, I love it. So I apply it and then I brush it through so that the product goes on the body of the eyebrows. I kind of like to brush them down to see where the brows will need a little bit more filling. And then I kind of fill in that space. Your eyebrows are very easy to manipulate, and I think it's because of the lamination, right? Because it softens.
They're always like, I like my brows. They're good. But yeah, I like to get either henna done. This is actually one of the first times I've done a brow lamination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the henna is nice because, well, I guess I just sometimes have like lighter hairs just to frame it a little bit more for those days that I'm not wearing like a full face of makeup. I just want to look, still good with like, brows.
Of course.
So yeah, this is actually the first time, but I'm liking it. I am liking it, the brow lift. It's also super easy.
I have done it a couple of times in Paris, and after I did it, I've noticed a massive fall.
Really?
In my eyebrow, yeah. And then I've read that it happens.
Yeah.
Because it's a chemical.
It is. I try to like keep up with like putting oils on it at night, like a jojoba oil.
Yeah, that helps a lot actually.
Yeah.
Essentially, a brow lift is like a perm for your eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
I'm gonna use the LH Cosmetics Brow Wax just to make sure they are being kept in place. I'm going to be using this Makeup by Mario palette. I have to say, this is one of my go-to palettes to sculpt the eye. I just love this because it really has all the good neutrals and, you know, you can still mix them together. I love this palette so, so much. So I'm going to start now by mixing these two with a Refer 15 mini brush. I'm going to start with the corner of the eye. I'm going to do a quick swipe. Open. Then I'm going to take a clean brush and just make sure that the edges are nicely blended. Always have a clean brush when you're doing your eye makeup. A clean blending brush. It's going to make the biggest difference. Same mixture, I just took a different brush. This is a 03 from Refer. And I just go over the lash line. Okay. Next I'm going to mix these shades together. So it's like a darker grayish with a Refer 02 brush. I'm gonna have this applied at the base of the lashes. And I kind of smoke it out. I don't keep it like incredibly precise. Open. Love when this is a bit softer. So with the clean brush, I try to make it as soft as possible. So it's just a really blended shadow. And then with the brush from Refer number 26, I will take this eyeshadow alone and just go a little bit at the end of the eye in sort of a V shape. Open your eyes. Yes. And taking my blending brush. And then that same eyeshadow, I will apply it on the lower lash line, but kind of just on the outer corner. Yes. Next I will take Victoria Beckham Kajal, Satin Kajal eyeliner, and this is in the shade Cocoa. And I'm gonna line the eyes just at the base, in between the lashes. And with this tiny brush, Refer 23, I will go and smudge it, but still keeping it very, very close to the lashes. Open. Okay, the eyes went dramatic pretty fast. And now from the NARS palette, this is the Orgasm palette, one of my all-time favorite palette, I'm going to mix these two shimmers. This is a Refer 28 brush. I'm going to apply this on the center of the eyelid. Very, very gently. I don't want a crazy amount of shimmer. That's one of the reasons why I applied with a brush, else I would apply it with my finger. I think this is a perfect amount of drama we want for the eyes on a wedding day. Okay, look in front and just a little bit on the inner corner right here. It's gonna give a beautiful luminosity to the eye. I'm going to go with the Sweet Lashes mascara, but I do have to mention that I have applied some lashes at the end of the eye. This is the Pro Lash Lift mascara. I'm going to do mascara on the lower lashes as well. And eyes are done. You look stunning. I mean, you're beautiful regardless, but I think this makeup really suits you.
Wait.
Look at her doing her own makeup. Yes. You're very good.
Yeah.
You're very good. Okay, makeup artist.
Thanks, babe.
Okay.
It's years of, honestly, like everything. Years of
trying.
I started when I was 12. And my mom, I'm also happy that my mom let me. Like, and she was very much like, okay, like you need to know how to do it naturally, but she let me. Like, she let me wear it to school. She let me experiment with it. Like, very light, very drugstore makeup first, and then the real works.
And then the real. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go with the Wonder Skin lip liner. This is the 360 contour lip liner in the shade Saddle. I wanted to go with something that's a bit more pink on her, and she's like, I love more brown. And I'm like, you know, I think it suits you because you would wear it with confidence. In general, with anything that you do not wear it with confidence, you're not sure, and you don't own it. Yeah, that's when it starts to look a little off. That's true. You know. So, and also she mentioned she likes to heavily overline her lips. So don't give me a hard time in the comments, okay?
I want what you have.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, we went big here, huh?
Against her will. So forced.
No, I love the overline look.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, and here's what I like to do after I overline. I mean, obviously this is a very, very long lasting lip liner, but I do like to powder the lip liner so it's even more long lasting. And now you can go with whatever you want. I feel like whenever you have the shade right, then you can, you know, sky is the limit. I love a glossy lip on a bride, but in order to have the color staying full night or just, you know, full day, depends on when your wedding is, I strongly recommend you to go with a base first. And I love these MAC, what is called Locked Kiss ink. I dare you to take these off. Like, I dare you. And I've mixed the two together. And again, I just create my own shade. Added a touch of concealer in the mix. I was just talking with Chinook about these because not a lot of people know about these Fenty sticks. They are the gloss
Bombs.
The gloss
Is that true?
bomb? Is it a
Bomb?
bomb? You know what? I'm going to put it in the description box, but it's a stick and they have the same shades available just like their regular lip glosses. This is the color on my hand right here. And I have to say, this is so beautiful. Okay, now we're talking. I love this lip shade and it's bulletproof. This is going to stay on for so many hours. It's not transfer proof, but it's very long lasting when you do this mix.
Yeah.
Let's do the finishing touches, and by finishing touches I mean Shade and Illuminate Highlighting Duo from Tom Ford, and the shade I'm going to be using is this one right here. I actually mixed these two. It's Mood Light, and this is more like a finishing powder. It's just something that I love to use on pretty much everyone with lighter skin. I use this so much on myself as well. And it just gives you that beautiful glow without being too much. Look at that. The YSL blush, this is in shade 44. Then I'm gonna go with One Size On Till Dawn setting spray, because once you apply this, the makeup will just not move, I promise you. Hold your breath.
You go all out.
All right, guys, and here we have the final look. How do you feel?
Oh my god, fabulous! I love it. Thank you so much. I'll be watching this tutorial like 1,000 times before my wedding, and I'm gonna like have it next to me like on the day of, like, I'll be thinking of you. I'll be thinking of you for sure. And yeah, I love it. I love how glowy it is, but it's subtle, but it's so stunning.
I mean, listen, you are also an amazing model to work with, so it was a pleasure to do your makeup.
Thank you so much.
I know you're going to be doing great at your wedding. And guys, as usual, all the products that I've used are in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and make sure you follow me. And if you wanna, can I share your Instagram?
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you wanna check out her Instagram, I'm going to put it on the screen right here. Thank you for being here.
Bye,
Goodbye. Bye, guys.